I don't know if both those came through or not, but what's up, middle school? We
Yes.
are so glad to see you guys in a new weird way.
Yeah, this is the first time we've done Zoom welcome and hellos. So
Yep.
first for everything, it's exciting.
Yeah, and literally everything is going to be done from home this week. So we are super bummed that we cannot be, number one, we're not recording these in our normal place, but number two, we're not hanging out with you guys later on today. On this Sunday, we were supposed to get together, and we're bummed that we can't, but we are thankful still for technology that we can get together virtually and
Yes,
talk to you guys
definitely.
in chat and do these Zoom things and all that stuff. So guys, we miss you. We can't wait till we get back together. It's going to be just a little bit longer, but we're here.
Yeah, and until then, we'll just keep doing our YouTube services, chatting with you guys. It'll be great. Also, I know last week we were talking about our Zoom or our 10-second talents and our scare videos, and we are all out of those videos, and we'd love to have some more segments of those. So if you thought you sent us yours and didn't see it, or if you have a new video, make sure you send that to Scott Hudson. Hopefully his email will pop up on the screen, and we'd love to see some more videos of you guys. So it's been great.
Yeah, that's right. Send them in. We want to see them. Guys, so the rest of the service today, we've got Matt Dinsky, who's going to be teaching the word, so make sure you stick around for that. We actually have a video of surprising the winner of our March Crackness, so stick around to see that. We've got some musical worship from our boy Nathan, I think.
Yes.
Maybe some help from some volunteers. Who knows? And we've
Somewhere
got
in his log cabin?
Yeah, somewhere in his log cabin, volunteers are hidden away. That sounds weird. Don't quote us on that. But right now, we are going to play a game. So get ready. It involves masks that many of you have been wearing and us trying to figure out what is underneath the masks. So on your mark, get set. Here we go. What's up, everybody? We are back. That's my sick YouTube intro.
That was really good.
Thank you. This is Dallas and Brentley. We're back once again with a fun game. This time it is sort of like quarantine related, appropriate.
Yeah.
It's what is behind the mask in volume 2, but don't worry about that. We didn't play volume 1. You don't need to. So the idea here is that you're going to see some images, maybe of celebrities or animals or who knows what, and it's going to have a mask over part of the image, and you have to decide what is behind the mask. So there will be a couple of multiple choice answers, and you just put the letter that you think is correct in the chat. Whoever has the most correct at the end of the game, congratulations, you now have bragging rights in the virtual world.
So good. So good.
So good. All right, so the first behind the mask is Brentley.
Ooh, okay. What is the emotion behind the mask of this emoji? Is it A, sad, B, indifferent, or C, happy? We'll give you a few seconds to answer before we move on.
That's very tricky because all emoji eyes are not the same, right?
True.
But our sad eyes are not always crying on emojis, I know that.
Right.
Happy eyes, I wouldn't say they're necessarily like bigger. I don't know. I feel like this one could easily be any of the three.
Yeah. Because it could be the indifferent one with just like the straight line.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, you need to make
All
sure
right.
your answer is in the chat because
A,
you
B,
have
or C?
5, 4, 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
The correct answer is happy.
Woo!
He's a happy little emoji. What a nice guy. All right, if you got happy, pat yourself on the back. Positive vibes only, apparently, for that emoji. All right, this next one. I don't think it's a celebrity dog, but it is a dog. What are you going to see on the mug of this pug once we take off the mask? Will he have his tongue out? Will he have a smile on his face or a snarl?
Interesting. I liked the rhyming of mug and pug. That was really good.
Well, I'm now a rapper.
Oh, wow.
Those are my main rap words as well.
Nice.
Once again here, I'm kind of focused on the eyes.
Uh-huh.
Tongue out with those eyes, I'm not sure. Not sure how that feels. A smile? I don't know. To me, like, snarl makes the most sense, but I'm not saying that that's the answer.
Yeah, honestly, based off of the eyes, he looks kind of sad. So I don't really know.
True. So none of these three. Well, hey, you in the chat have to make a decision. Put your answer in 5,
Four.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's tongue.
It is tongue. That's surprising.
Yeah.
Ooh, look, and he's got some like hairy moles on the side of his face.
Oh my.
Real cool. Real cool, Pug.
All right. Number 3, remove the mask, and where will you find Steph Curry's mouth guard? Will it be A, side of his mouth, B, on his teeth, or C, is he not even wearing a mouth guard?
Ooh.
Maybe
Now-
it's a question.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it, but Steph Curry is kind of known for his mouth guard.
Yeah, so maybe it's just throwing it off this time and there's no mouth guard.
That could be. It could be kind of a tricky one like that. But he's known for chewing on his mouth guard, for regularly having it outside of his mouth, especially in big moments in games. So I don't know what that means, but you better figure it out in 5,
4,
3,
2.
1.
Ooh, it was A, on the side of his mouth.
On the side of his mouth. Oh man, now I feel like I kind of gave it away. I forgot one of the answers was like on his teeth, which would be where he should have it, but
Right.
oh well.
Right. It's okay.
If you got it right.
Maybe you got it.
Yeah. All right, here's the next one. We've got Taylor Swift. Remove the mask, and what kind of expression does Taylor have? Now, this one is for Rachel. She's a big T Swift fan.
Yes.
And, I wanted to leave it out, but Brentley said we had to. Does Taylor have a smile? Is she happy we left her in? Does she have a frown? Is she upset that we even debated it? Or is she straight-faced? She just really doesn't care, one way or the other.
There we go. A, B, or C. I don't know.
Huh?
I feel like her eyes, I always look at the eyes, but I feel like her eyes could go for any one of these.
Yeah. Well, the chat needs to figure it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is straight-faced.
It's verging on a smile, I think, but it still is straight-faced.
Yeah.
It's not like a really big smile.
Like she sees somebody she's really trying to be hardcore with, but
Yeah.
you're Taylor Swift. Come on. We know you try to play hardcore, but it's fake. All right, here we go. Next one. Brentley,
All right.
I think it's going to be our last one.
All right, last one. Hopefully you guys can get this one. What is the color of the macaroon that is about to be unmasked? Is it A, pink, B, yellow, or C, blue? Now this one's hard because there's literally no way of you knowing. You can't base it off of the eyes. All the other ones have had eyes. This one, you just have to guess.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can bring in just your knowledge of macaroons and
There you go.
The color pairings.
Right, like what's the color scheme of this particular macaroon tower?
Mm-hmm.
Very
Green. So I'd
interesting.
say that's like green. Is that like, would you say that's tan or brown? I don't. And then a black?
Light tan.
Light tan, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. This is a difficult one, but we don't have to figure out the answer. You do in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's pink.
That is very pink. I think that's the most pink thing I've ever seen
In your entire life.
in my entire life.
I bet Pinkalicious would love this macaroon. Are you familiar with Pinkalicious?
No.
It's a kid's cartoon. That's
Wow.
where everything's pink. Literally everything.
Wow. Well, I think that they would really like that macaroon then.
Well, I think that if you got that correct, you really like it. If you got it wrong, you don't. Tally up your score. Let us
Yes.
know how many you got correct in the chat. And again, congratulations if you have the most correct, because you just won virtual bragging rights over
There you go.
everyone else in this chat.
Hope you guys enjoyed playing this game with us. We had a lot of fun.
What is up, middle school? We miss you guys so much, and we can't wait to be gathering and singing and worshiping together again. This week, Matt is going to be teaching us on the practice of remaining responsible. Whether we're young or we're old, each of us have things that we're put in charge of. It can be something as simple as taking out the trash or as involved as helping to take care of a younger sibling. We have jobs, we have school, we have assignments that we're all accountable for. We don't want quarantine to be a season of slacking or of laziness for you. Rather, we want to challenge you to remain diligent and to be productive over the things you have in your life. We believe that this is part of being a good steward and that ultimately your faith will grow because of it. So as we sing, let us be thankful for Jesus. He's our Savior, and he showed ultimate responsibility and dedication to the most difficult task of all. He carried the weight of our sins to the cross. Although he had the power and the opportunity to avoid the cross, he remained responsible with what was before him, even to the point of death. So let's sing together. Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn, I don't deserve, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, answer. Still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yes, Jesus, we thank you for your great responsibility. We thank you that you're willing to pay the price for our mistakes. God, we ask that while we're here, that we would reflect you, that we would be responsible for the things you have given to us, and that our responsibility would be just a reflection, a small piece of what yours is, that we would do it out of love and devotion for you, and that it would be an act of worship. May our hearts be continually refined and brought closer to you. We ask this in your name. Amen.
What's up, middle school, and welcome back to another FGS. We are so excited for you to join us this morning, and I know what you're thinking. Hey, that's not Dallas. Yet again, I know you're waiting on him. I know you wish it were him instead of me. I get it. I do too. But yet again, it is another week without Dallas. My name is Matt Dinsky, and I get to serve here on the student ministry team, and it is my joy to be here with you this morning. I hope everyone is doing well and you're having a great weekend. Some big news, probably by the time you watch this, I have a little baby girl who is probably going to be born by the time you're watching this, which is exciting. So be praying for that. Guys, over the past few weeks, we have been in a series where we are talking through what we're calling the 10 practices, these ways of living that we believe if we incorporate them into our life, they don't just help our faith survive during the pandemic, they help our faith thrive. The idea that your faith could be stronger than it ever has been before is fueling this idea. And we don't just think this is applies to the pandemic. We think it even goes beyond that. We want these to be 10 practices forever because we believe in them that much. We think they can help connect us to the ways and rhythms of Jesus. So this week we are talking about an interesting topic. The title for this practice is Remaining Responsible. Now, I know on the surface you're kind of like, okay, boomer, but it actually goes beyond that. Really, this week's practice is all about time, using time wisely, how we live in this moment. And I have here a very scientific instrument to help us understand this. That's right. You know it. You've probably seen a million of them in your board games or whatever else. You guys know what this is. This is a sand timer or an hourglass. This is to help. I have 2 sons, and this is to help them know how long to brush their teeth. So it measures time. And everything in the bottom here is a visual reminder of time that we've lost. It's already gone by. You can't get it back. It's been measured. It's done. Everything up top is a measurement of what you have left, what you still have to use. And then right here in the middle, this choke point in the middle, is kind of the crucial part of this whole thing. It's how you're using the moment you're in right now. It's not just measuring how much you have left, it's also reminding you there's something happening in the moment. And really that's what I want to talk about this morning. There's a principle of life that you tend to make the most of the time you have now when you understand how much time you have left. And seeing how much time is left really helps you make the most of now. I learned recently that on average, most people in this life get about 4,000 weeks, and that's it. And when I first heard that, I was like, that's it? 4,000 weeks? And I know 4,000 seems like a big number, and maybe in middle school you're like, that's forever, dude. But man, it hit me, and I was like, wow, that's not a lot of time. In fact, this principle has inspired me. I have a reminder every day. It comes in on my phone, and it's this phrase. It says, live in the 60. 60. Live in the 60. And what it means is in the next hour, in the next 60 minutes, how can you make the most of this time and live life to the fullest so that it doesn't just slip past you, so that you don't look back on the last hour and you're like, did I really just watch TikTok for the last hour? But that you're making them, and I've been there, I'm not perfect at this, but that you're making the most of every minute. It's a reminder. We tend to make the most of the time we have now when we see how much time we have left. And so measuring time and having visuals helps us actually be responsible. And so I want to talk about a story this morning that's a really fascinating story in the scriptures. It's about King David. He's a very famous king. Maybe you've heard of him. Jesus was actually a descendant of David. So David was his great grandfather. But I want to talk about David. When he was about 15 years old, a little bit older than you, David was chosen to be the king of a nation. He was anointed as king to be in charge of God's nation. And the story is actually pretty interesting. So the current king, kind of on the scene, he was a tall guy. The scriptures tell us he was tall. He was a shoulder height above everyone else. He was handsome. Everybody was like, oh man, that's the dude. That's the bee's knees. His name was Saul, and everybody loved Saul. And Saul had a great start, but a terrible finish because he stopped obeying God. And God decided, you know what, it's time to anoint a new king. It's time to choose a new king. And so God had a man named Samuel, who's like this prophet, this guy that helps God choose the king. Samuel is God's mouthpiece to the people. And this is Old Testament now, old school. 1 Samuel chapter 16, starting in verse 5. God tells Samuel, I want you to go to this guy's house. His name is Jesse. He has some sons. I want you to go there because one of his sons is going to be the new king of Israel. So Samuel's like hyped. He's pumped. He's like, oh, okay, let's go. And so he goes to Jesse's house. And 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 5. Consecrate yourselves, come with me to the sacrifice. And he consecrated Jesse, the dad, and his sons, and he invited them to the sacrifice. When they came, behold, he looked on Eliab, that's the first son, and he thought, surely this is God's anointed. This is the Lord's anointed, because he looked at him. And God said to Samuel, don't look at his appearance or at the height of his stature, because actually, Samuel, I've rejected him. The Lord doesn't see as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And so that first son, Eliab, he comes strolling up. Samuel sees him. He's like, ooh, dang, dude is lit. That's the man. And God says, not him. So Eliab walks on by. The next son comes up. Jesse called his next son, Abinadab, and made him pass before Samuel. Maybe Samuel thought the same thing. Woo, this dude's looking good too. Number two's not bad. It's a good candidate. And God says, no, it's not him. And then Jesse made all 7 of his sons pass before Samuel. And Samuel said to Jesse, the Lord has not chosen any of these. He's there to choose a king. And Samuel says, it's not a single one of these guys. And so Samuel actually says, listen, I mean, are all your sons here? Like, is this it? You don't have like a secret one somewhere in a back room or something? And sure enough, Jesse's actually like, I mean, yeah, we have like one more. He's the youngest, but look, he's out with the sheep. I mean, the way that Jesse talks about his 8th son, David, is so sad. He's like the afterthought. He's the runt of the litter. He's the reject. Jesse's like, oh, you mean David? You want to see David? Okay, I didn't even think he qualified. So they send word to get David. And David was out with the sheep, and Samuel said to Jesse, get him, go find him. I'm not sitting down till he comes here. So they went and they found him. And then look at this, skip to verse 13. Samuel took the horn of the oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers. The Spirit of the Lord rushed on David, and from that day forward, David was chosen to be king. Now, this isn't a message about David being king. It's a message about remaining responsible. So what does this have to do with that? I want you to notice something. When all the brothers entered the room, the first one especially, Samuel, the mouthpiece of God, was like, whoo, this is it. This is the guy, based on how he looked. God says, I'm looking at the heart. Imagine being in a family and receiving a notice in the mail. Hey, someone in your family is going to be chosen to be the next king of Israel. Congratulations. And so you get hyped. All the brothers are like, oh, it's going to be me. It's going to be me. You know, they're putting on their finest clothes. They're working on their swag walk. So when they walk in front of Samuel, he'll choose them. Everybody's in a competition mode. And your dad turns to you and says, hey, I need you to go watch the sheep while he chooses the new king. And you're like, what? Like, I don't even get a shot at this? I have to go spend time with like the smelly sheep? And dad's like, yeah, he's probably not going to choose you anyway. Don't worry about it. And you're out in the field and you're just thinking about what's going on in the house. You feel like you're missing out. You feel like it's unfair. I wonder how many of us would be tempted to leave our post with the sheep and go sneak into the house or just peer above the window just to see what's going on, or maybe just try to get our name in there a little bit so that God's anointed prophet, Samuel, could even just see us. But what does David do? He remains responsible. He remains with his sheep. See, David was faithful in the little things when a big thing was happening right around the corner. You don't think he wanted to be there? And yet he was faithful in the little things. And it was actually this quality that got him chosen because God saw his heart. It was actually this quality that helped him defeat Goliath a little bit later on. He rolls up and he's like, hey, I defended my sheep against lions and bears. I'll beat this guy. Who's this guy? And it was actually the absence of this quality that led to his downfall later on. In 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1, I'm just going to turn there real quick. It'll come up on the screen. But it says, in the spring of the year, the time when kings go out to battle, David sent Joab and his servants and all of Israel, and they ravaged the Ammonites and they besieged Rabbah. But David remained in Jerusalem. In the time of the year that kings go to fight, David stayed in Jerusalem. He didn't remain faithful in the little things, and it led to his downfall. So this week is all about remaining responsible, being faithful in the little things. And really, it's not so much about like, oh, I just got to make sure I get all my tasks done. You know, it's actually a bigger picture. It's actually an idea that Jesus is doing something in this world, in the midst of us. He's doing something big in this world. And he's invited me to be a part of it. And see, most of us think that means some like grandiose, gigantic movement or action or something like that. But it actually boils down to the little things and remaining responsible and being faithful in the little things. I want you to hear me. God uses everyday faithfulness to change the world. God uses everyday faithfulness to change the world. And so middle schooler, as you're sitting at home, it is so easy to think of this season or this time as a break, to like take a break on the rhythms of life and to binge watch more than usual, or to just dump your time into TikTok or Warzone or Fortnite or whatever. It's so easy to just consider this some weird season. We don't really have to be responsible. We can push off homework. We can push off responsibilities. We'll just wait till tomorrow. And I get the temptation on all of those things, but I'm telling you that God uses everyday faithfulness to change the world. And our challenge this week is to actually remain responsible in the little things. So accomplish some goals or maybe create new ones, dream a little bit, but to remain responsible in the little things, which eventually stack up to big things. Where was David when the new king was being chosen? He was in the sheep. He was in the field with the sheep, being faithful in the little things. Our challenge for ourselves and for you, this practice is to remain responsible in the little things, because God uses little things to accomplish big things. It's all about how we understand time. Seeing how much we have left helps us make the most of how much we have now. So maybe for you, you just need to measure the day a little bit and understand, man, if I have 24 hours today, how can I make the most of those 24 hours? I would even encourage you to write that down, like make a little journal, write down some goals in the day and try to measure out how you can accomplish them. Guys, we love you. Thanks for being here this morning. We hope you have a great Sunday.
Thanks, Matt, for that awesome message on remaining responsible. Guys, we are on week 7 of our 10 practices series, and I'm so excited. Hope you guys are too. Our focus last week was on being in creation, and I know that it was super rainy this whole last week, but I hope you guys were able to find some time to be in creation with the Father and to just hear from God as he reveals himself through what he's made. And our focus this week, like Mac talked about, was on remaining responsible. And we know it's really easy for us to take this time as a break, right? But God has invited us to be a part of what he's doing and invited us to be faithful in our tasks, whether they're big or small. So let's not neglect the things that God has given us to do in this season. And our challenge for you guys this week is, along with remaining responsible, to accomplish your goals and to maybe even venture out and create new ones. Remaining responsible is all about how we're spending our time and how we're making the most of each moment. Like Matt said, we tend to make the most of our time now when we see how much time we have left. And like David was faithful in the little things, that's our goal too for this week, is to be faithful in the little things, because God uses our faithfulness in the little things to add up into big things and to change the world. So maybe spend some time this week just focusing on how you can remain responsible and in what ways. So as you guys are thinking about that, maybe for you it means not giving as much time to time wasters this week, whether that's Netflix or Fortnite or TikTok, whatever it is. Maybe it means writing a list at the beginning of your week or your day and thinking about the things that you need to be responsible with. Maybe those things for you are your homework if you're still doing school. Maybe it's chores around the house or taking care of the family pet. Maybe it's sending a text or making a phone call that you've been needing to make, or just being intentional with spending time with your family. Whatever it is, think of the things in your life that you need to be responsible with and that you can be faithful with this week. As you guys are thinking about that, here are some discussion questions for this week. The first one is just to share with your small group how you were able to practice being in creation this past week. Like we talked about, being in creation is not just about being outside, but actually spending time with the Father, sitting, listening, and allowing him to reveal himself through what he's made. So share with your group how last week's challenge went. The second one is just for you guys to start thinking about time, right? So did it surprise you when Matt said that most of us only have about 4,000 weeks in our life? Did that seem like not that much to you? Did that seem like a lot? I just want to hear from you guys about that. Share that with your small groups. And then the last question is, like David was faithful in the little things and God used him for the kingdom, what are some of the little things in your life that you can remain faithful in and responsible with this week? All right, love you guys. Enjoy your time with your small group and enjoy practicing responsibility this week.
All right, what's up, guys? We just left the house. I've got the whole family with me, and we are going to deliver the championship prizes for March Crackness 2020 to Ethan Anderson. So I think that he lives just around the corner from me, so it shouldn't be a long drive. We're excited to see his reaction. He doesn't know that we're coming. Hopefully he's home. Let's go deliver these prizes. All right. Yep, so here we are. We made it to the Andersons, even in the rain, sleet, sun or shine.
Snow.
The mailman delivers.
Thunderstorms.
So we're delivering right now. It looks like they're home.
We're hoping for the best.
I just heard a dog.
I don't know.
Sounds big. Let's go.
Nice landscaping.
Yes, it looks very nice. Good job, Andersons. They're Americans.
Happy Memorial Day.
I don't know if it worked, but I don't want to touch it again. It worked.
Dogs are barking.
We know you're in there. What's
Hey, what's
up?
up?
Jason!
Hey.
Come on out,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Have you grown an entire foot?
Yeah.
How
During
much taller
quarantine?
are you than Dallas?
Ethan, my friend, you are the 2020 March Crackness champion. And because of that, you get this trophy. You get a little Chick-fil-A gift card from our sponsor. That's a $25 gift card, by the way. You can feed the whole family. And he gets this basketball goal.
Wow.
So
Wow.
You already have one of these?
I do, but I can always use another.
Well, you can make like a full court now.
Yeah.
Yeah, double
Thank you
doors.
so
Yeah, man.
Wow,
Congratulations.
congrats. Bye, guys. We love you so much. Thanks for joining us today. So glad you could join us for our first Zoom YouTube live thing that we have going on. Don't forget to send us your 10-second talents and your scare videos, and we'll see you back here at 10:15 next Sunday.
That's right. And have your parents check their emails. Maybe you check yours too, because in the next few weeks, we want to do more things like our Zoom call from a couple weeks ago where we played games and just checked in with each other. And we also, in just a few weeks, are going to be starting kind of like a class sort of thing. It'll be over Zoom during lunch on Thursdays. And we want you guys to be a part of it. It's kind of going through like the basics of our faith and helping you understand better what we believe about Jesus, and maybe even to the point where you could clearly share it with your friends. So we want you to be there. Again, it's going to run through the whole summer, and we want you to be there from the beginning. So
Yes.
We love you guys. We miss you. We can't wait till we're together. We'll see you next week. Have a great one. This is difficult. Yeah.